working? Awesome, awesome. How are you guys doing? How is it Denver going so far? Oh. How are you guys doing? How is Denver going so far? Very good, very good, very good. See some energy. So many strangers here that I don't know. But anyway, awesome, awesome guys. Glad to be here and glad that we're speaking about Snaps, MetaMask, Web3 culture, where we see the future and why we need the community inside this ecosystem. So the agenda, so it obviously is 20 minutes and this is an interactive session. So if anybody of you has any question during the talk, feel free to raise your hand. I'm not seeing very well, but I will just do like that. Cool. I want to speak about why Web3 matter. So this is a product agnostic talk. Why we need developers in the community building, why we need to have a transparent, basically a transparent solution and permissionless solution. Then we speak about MetaMask, the platform itself, which kind of developer tooling we are offering today. Obviously, we're speaking about Snaps. That's a core of our bounty at ETH Denver this year. We actually, I hope, how many of you guys are working and submitting some solution or bounty. Then we quickly run through what's the developer ecosystem look like. How many of you guys know MetaMask Snaps? Hey, very good, very good. Okay, I see some hands in the back. It's great to see it. But so why Web3 matters, right? I don't wanna. These are a slide, and we can share the slide afterwards. But we all know that the Web3 ecosystem, you know, when everything is free, we are our own products. We have centralized services. We get tracked by specific and different solutions. We don't get our user. We don't have our really access on what we can do and cannot do, and we're literally the product. And this cannot work anymore. And obviously, everything is growing, and we are also experiencing some sort of decline. That's why we are in the Web3 ecosystem. That's why we're building solutions that are fully permissionless. So we wrote 5 principles, right? And I don't know if anybody has more principles, feel free to shout those out. But I think first, we need to have user-owned accounts. So the end user need to have full control on their assets, on their identity. I think this is a principle that we should really write in set in stones. And when we build something, we need to think about this. Second one, accessible interface. Everything needs to be comprehensible and modifiable. And you will see also on Snaps that every transaction that is happening and every access request that's happening, you are, the end user, is fully aware of what's happening, even when you connect with your Wi-Fi. Explicit request. User control is highest priority, right? We need to understand when you're sharing your account information, when you have access to your funds. And any solution out there need to have those specific requests and need to be transparent, right? Revocable permissions. I think this is a must-on. So the user is really in full control, right? So anything that has to do with managing their request and not just in the extension or wallet space, right? In any solution out there. And today, not all the time we are actually aware about what we are connected with, and we even don't know sometimes how we can log off and completely log off from a platform. Share progressively. So this is basically we need to have a way that the community is taking what we are building, the community is owning what they are building, and is actually moving forward. Today I'm seeing every week new wallets, but are we actually building and moving forward in our ecosystem with new features, with something that we can progressively build? So, resuming, building sustainable regenerative solution, right? We need to build for community and for a fully interoperability ecosystem. We need to build for utility. So we need to start making things that actually people love. And I think this UX is a very big part of it. And we also kick off last year our first UX hackathon. And this is actually not just specific to Snaps, but I think end users and Web2 UX designer need to have like a thought about how actually people are onboarding. Build for social trust and attestation, and build for extensibility. So I want to also like speak about the extensibility a little bit more, but people need to be able, and developers in the ecosystem user need to be able to continuing and furthering add extensions or add a function to whatever they are using, right? And I think this is also what matters and what users are searching today. So obviously, MetaMask is providing a consensual transactional layer for the web, allowing new ethical business models. 30 million active users, we already know that, but we always build more extensible and universal wallet features, client-side APIs, so cross-platform, because obviously, how many of you guys have MetaMask wallet today? Because not everybody know about it. Cool. Obviously, we are in East Denver, so hopefully some people know about this. Desktop shared, and also integration with new other wallets. So we're coming to actually the main point. So what is MetaMask, or what developer tooling we are providing? We have three big verticals today. And sometimes when you hear about those, like we are always maybe speaking about Snaps or DApp API. But those are the three: DApp API, Mobile SDK, and Snaps. Today I will concentrate on Snaps, but if anybody is also will be in GDC, we will see a bunch of stuff on Mobile SDK where actually game developer can implement natively MetaMask inside their games. So Snaps. Everybody understand a little bit what it is. We already explained in our bounty, but Snaps allow to extend the functionality of MetaMask today fully in a decentralized and secure way, and actually user will keep control out of it, right? And I think this is something that is not just a project; it's a very community-driven, like campaign, and Snaps are literally like the next big wave of innovation into like the Web3, not just wallet ecosystem, but in our ecosystem. So trustless execution. Running inside MetaMask. Right now they're acting as a separate dApp, but in the future will be directly in our extension. Zero permission by default. This is basically line up with our second big principle. That means that you as end users or as developer now building your Snap with Flask, that's what's supported today, you will see basically every access that you get to an extension. So network access, this access, specific things like even Wi-Fi access. So interoperability means also like the Snap can have its own API and can interact with specific other API. Like similar, we saw like push notification and other API. And it's not just Snaps exclusive. I think that's important to understand. This is how it looks like. And when we're actually like getting and is requesting for a permission, and even those two, they are kind of like really low level ask. They're displayed to the end user. Fetch and display transaction inside and access to the internet. So you are completely aware of what's happening in your Snaps and how it's interacting with the extension. So how the Snaps works, for anybody that still didn't start building and targeting our bounty, a Snap is literally an NPM package. You have a source code, you have manifest and a package.json. And at the end of the slides, we have also a cool QR code with also a monorepo Snap attached, and you will see all this file around that. So all these three files in a single JavaScript file and push to NPM. And we're getting to the next slide, how we are distributing the Snap. So we publish to npm.js.io. You deploy a dApp to invite users to install the Snap, and basically you can different user can directly get your Snap connecting and installing. Fourth, after installation, Snaps appear in Snap menu under setting. So this, what you see here on the left, is basically like on setting in Flask. You see all your Snap installed and when are active or deactivated. And obviously, like other dApps can use your Snap too. I think like this is also like the big part, right? This is a community build Snap for the community. So speaking about use case, what actually a Snap can do that our extension doesn't do. So this is like, when we started building this, like everybody came with like different pain points on what can we do? Can we actually use Bitcoin? We know, everybody know that MetaMask is a EVM compatible wallet, but how about like non-EVM extensions, right? And this is one big use case. So non-EVM compatible snaps, like think about a BTC snap or a Filecoin snap. And today, actually, you can send transaction on MetaMask on Bitcoin using and activating the BTC snap. There are a bunch of those. And EVM extensions is one part of the big use cases. I'm super interested in identity, in communication. Think about also notification snap that natively are notifying by you by an event that triggers. Think about back in our previous event, like in Amsterdam. Our team built like a on-chain arbitrage boat. That was super cool. Hopefully, like we can get it back. But those are literally like different use case, and yeah, like think about also like MPC snaps, account recovery with obviously non-email account recovering directly on chain. That's super cool, and actually the use case are endless. So an ever-growing API. Today we're displaying costume dialogues. We can notify users. You can store and manage data. Think about the IPFS, the Filecoin snap, and we have a bunch of also like repo that we can show after with this resource hub that we built for you for Denver. Derivative arbitrary entropy, populate pre-transaction, and schedule active action with cron jobs. And obviously, like this is just the beginning. There are a bunch of things like UX extension directly, and yeah, quite excited about that. So why is this important? This is a general thing, but we need to understand why the community will play a really big role today. So everybody know this, right? That's an iPhone. There are different apps in our device today. And around 4.5 million and probably more like in 2022, yeah, there are apps in our Apple Store. And how many of those apps are actually built by Apple? I don't know, shoot like I don't know, 10%? How many of those apps are actually built by Apple? 10%, 5%, 1%, 0.1%? No one is raising their hands. 0.1%? Yeah, something like that. So the crazy thing is that it's not just 0.1%. 0.01% are actually made by Apple. So let's go actually in another platform, Google Chrome. How many extensions are actually around? 130,000, right? 2021. How many actually are spinned by actually Google? Again, 0.01%. Beautiful Windows. I don't want to like, nobody knows how many, but obviously like a tiny of those is driven by Microsoft. Actually, this is the favorite one. And what's funny about this, this is not even built by Microsoft. So yeah, so you know, innovation is not just about like the companies building it, but it's also about like the communities around and building those around those platforms, right? Cool. So let's go actually go back. That I see I have 5 minutes. So today those are like wallet. I don't know if you remember this device, Simon, back in the days. Today, as I said before, like we're building multiple Simons, right? We're building like multiple wallets with the same functionality. We're not actually moving forward. That's why we want to take from our Simon to actually our iPhone, right? Full of like application built by our community. So again, this is a door for innovation. And we, as mentioned before, we don't want to be the blockers. And the community is literally limitless. We want to have the community building basically whatever they need and being part of actually this movement, extending the functionality of what MetaMask is today. So here are a couple of links. So Flask is where snaps are available today. That's basically the Canary build, similar to the staging version of what a web is today. And also the Snaps website for you to check out. I added here, I don't know if we have time actually to show you, like this is a StarkNet snap that we presented a couple of weeks ago at the Starkware session. And you can literally interact with, yeah, basically with StarkNet with MetaMask. It's not a non-EVM compatible snap. I can show you quickly what, I actually have the other one that is quite cool. The Bitcoin snap, this is as mentioned before, you can interact with Bitcoin directly. And we will send out probably those slides afterwards. I see we have 3 minutes. I really want to get some question around this. Transaction inside Snap is actually quite cool. You shall check this out. We added here some developer resources that also some teams scanned before in the morning when we were mentoring. But check this out, scan this QR code, because this is like a list of resources from our colleagues with not just the mono repo that you want to build, but also like a bunch of like pre-built examples of snaps. Everybody scan this code. StarkNet Snap, transaction inside Snap, and yeah, be sure that you subscribe to our MetaMask Dev. That is basically the developer Twitter, a little bit more focused on developer insights. Our developer ecosystem, super quick. So a couple of months ago, we launched the MetaMask Grants DAO. So anybody that is building not just a Snap in hackathon is able to send a proposal. This is a employee-led DAO. And the cool stuff about this is that we want to support developers not just on what they're building, but also like to further build, and not just snaps, right? Anything that you think about that make sense. Developer ecosystem, yeah, last year we literally throw different hacker houses. We're part of different hackathons. And not just like ETH Denver, like we were very active in the ecosystem like hackathon. And obviously it's a great honor to be back at ETH Denver again. Developer activation, as I mentioned before, we don't just do like hacker houses or hackathon, but we also throw specific dedicated developer events where we show developer how to build, not just snaps in particular, but also like invite different like external speakers in our workshop and panels. Cool, awesome. Thank you so much. Let's open, like, we have literally 2 minutes for questions. And I also like suggest, yeah, any question that you guys have. Here are a bunch of colleagues that will be around also during our hackathon, those days. And yeah, anything, we are always like at the table there. Anything that there is, like, feel free to like to DM, reach out. We have a ConsenSys Discord, Snaps Dev, and also we have our MetaMask and Infura channel in our Spork Discord. Cool. Any question out there? So what is Flask and why developer need to use it? So as mentioned before, Snaps today is available with Flask, and Flask is the canary build of MetaMask. And you will see a bunch of cool extra settings in Flask today, right? And we're thinking about new settings that actually developer could think about. But today, for example, in specific with Snaps, you can go in settings and check out what Snaps you have activated. And there are a bunch of like auto detection features that you can check it out. And yeah, just go Flask and download. Most important thing is that Flask and MetaMask should not be installed in the same browser. So create a new profile or another, just use another browser to build on that. The other question I saw on the back, yeah. Oh, I think we need to take the question down there. That we have on a strict schedule. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy and happy Beadle.
Hey,